Hi, good day everyone. We are going to be doing CSEC Math Paper 1, Section 4, which is Measurements, and we'll be doing January 2025 to 2017. Alright, so the first one we're going to be doing is January 2025, Paper 1, Measurement, which is number 31 to 38. Right, item 31 refers to the following diagram which shows a cylinder whose diameter is 6 and height is 21. Given that pi is 22/7, the volume of a diameter is... Now, if you do not remember the formulas for the shapes, please remember that you are given your formula sheet and it is provided. Now, these questions, it should not have a lot of a lot of calculations, right? Or hard calculations, I should say. So if you look at this, this is the formula sheet that is given in every exam paper, paper 1, paper 2, and paper 3. This is given. So if you look for volume of a cylinder, is pi r squared by h, right? So we put that in pi, which is 22/7, r squared, which is your diameter is 6, so r was going to be 6 divided by 2 is 3. 3 squared multiplied by 21/1. So that is 22/7 multiplied by 9 multiplied by 21/1. 7 into 7, 1/7 into 21 is 3, right? 9 threes are 27. So now you're going to get 22 multiplied by 27. That's 22 multiplied by 20 plus 22 multiplied by 7. This would be 440. 7 twos are 14. 7 twos are 14. 15. That's 4, 9, 594. So the answer for this one is C. Alright. In a rectangular plot, 15 meters long and 12 meters wide, an area of 80 meters squared is used for vegetable garden. What area of the plot is not used? So first off, we have to see 15 by 12. This would be 15 by how many tens? 1 tens, and then 15 by 2. This is 150, and this would be 15 by 2 is 30, so that is 180. So this is 180, and 80 is used for vegetables. What is not used? So not used would be 180 minus 80, which is equals to 100 meters squared. So B. Right, 33. How long will a speedboat take to travel between two harbors which are 180 kilometers apart if it travels at an average speed of this? So they want to know the how long. So we know that speed is distance over time, right? And even if you don't know that, you can look at it here. Kilometers per hour means distance. Kilometers is in distance, and per hour means time. So this would be your distance is 1080 divided by time is 120. So I would have 180. So first off, you can use your answers here rather than trying to solve. 1080 divided by what would give you 120? It would not be 8, it is 9, right? 9 could go into 108 12 times, and 9 could go into 0 0 times. So this is how I got the answer to be 9. Right, number 34, the length of the side of a triangle is x, 2x, and 2x centimeters. If the perimeter is 20, what is the value? So x plus 2x plus 2x is giving you 20. So 2 and 2 is 4, 4 plus 1 is 5. So 5x is equals to 20. So x is equals to 20 divided by 5. So x is equals to 4. So A is your answer. Item 35 refers to the following diagram of a trapezium. The perimeter of the trapezium is, simply add this up, right? 0.12, 0.41. So even if it is calculations and you are not allowed your calculator, it's simple calculations, right? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, that's 12, put the 2 here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0.92. Hold on. Oh, they want it in millimeters. Oh, so we know that if you don't know how many meters in a how many millimeters in a meter, we can just do what we know. We know that one 10 millimeters in 1 centimeter, and we know that 100 centimeters is equals to 1 meter, right? So therefore 100 centimeters would be, if 1 centimeter is 10, then 100 centimeters would be 100 multiplied by 10, which is 1,000 millimeters, is equals to 1 meter. Do you understand how I got this? Alright, so now you just simply divide this by, so I have, if 1 meter is 1,000 millimeters, then 0.92 would be 1,000 multiplied by 0.92. Is it multiply? No, it's divide. Right, so you would, when you multiply by 1,000, you have to shift your decimal point 3 places. So 1, 2, 3, so this would be 920, so the answer is D. Right, number 36. If item 36 is refers to the following diagram, which shows a circle at center O, the major sector and minor sector indicated. Right, this is the image. If the area of the major sector is 115.5 centimeters, then the diameter of the circle. So first off, what we have to recognize is, excuse me, this is a quarter and this is 3/4. If we remember for major of a sector, so the area of a major sector, area of a sector, let me just say area of a sector, is pi r squared by theta over 360, which is your fraction, right? So this would have been 22 over 7 multiplied by r squared multiplied by theta over 360, which would have been, this is 270 degrees, or 3/4. Okay? So now we have, this is 115.5. So first that's 115. 115.5 is equals to 3 2s are 6. That's 66 over 7. 7 4s are 28. Right? Multiply by r squared. Excuse me. Um, so what you could probably do is put in these answers to see which one would make your because these are your diameter, which one would make the answer be 115.5, right? So first off, I would say r squared is equals to 115.5 divided by 66 over 28, which is 115.5 over 1 multiplied by 28 over 66 is equal to a radius squared, right? When you multiply this out, okay, no, this is becoming a lot tedious, and I don't think you should do it like this because we have decimals and stuff. So let's first, what we're gonna do is say that if 3/4 is equals to 115.5, then 4 1/4 would be 115.5 over 3. Then 4/4 would be 115.5 over 3 multiplied by 4. This would make things a lot easier. This is equals to, when you do this, you're going to get, alright, when you multiply this, you'll get 154. Right? So your whole circle is 154. They want to know the diameter. We know that it is pi r squared is 154. So that's 22 over 7 multiplied by r squared is 154. So r squared is 154 divided by 22 over 7. So r squared is equal to 154 multiplied by 7 over 22. Right? So r squared is equal to 49. When you divide it and everything, you'll get 49. So r is going to be the square root of 49, which is equal to 7. So my diameter is going to be equal to 7 multiplied by 2, which is equals to 14. So the answer is C. Right? Or you could have just substitute each value and see which one you'll get 115.5. This was a lot of working. So there are some questions that you do have to do some type of working. Right? Questions like this, I would say skip and leave for last. Right? The ones that you could do very quickly, go ahead and do them. Right, item 37 refers to the following diagram which shows a compound solid. The surface area of the solid is... So first off, let's see, this is 10, this is 12, this is 10, this is 10. If we're looking at this, this is 8 and this is 10. So from here to here is 18. Right, so let's see how many surfaces there are in this. There is one square, let's call this 1, which is 10 by 10, which is 100. And then this one is 10 by 12, which is 120. So this is 2. Then 3 on this side is our next 120. Then 4 at the bottom here is 120 again. Then this one here at the side here is 8 plus 10 is 18 by 10, which is 180. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 5. This entire thing in the back here is 5. Right? Now the triangular. This thing in the back here. Then the triangle is base, which is 12 by height, which is 8. So 12 multiplied by 8 divided by 2. 12 8s are 96 divided by 2, which is equals to 48, but it's two triangles, so we'll have 48 and a next one. So this is 6 here, and then a next one is 7 here. 48 and 48, and then the last face is here, which is 10 by 13, which is 130. Right? So when you add all of this, you should be getting an answer of, let's add it up, add all of this up, you're going to get 866, which is B. Right, number 38, 38 is the distance around a lake is 8 kilometers on a map. This distance around a lake is represented by 4 centimeters. So they're telling you 4 centimeters is equals to 8 kilometers. The scale on the map is... So first off, before we even compare, we always have to make sure they are of the same unit. Right? Kilometers, we know that 1 centimeter is equal, no, 100 centimeters is equals to 1 meter, right? But we know that there's 1,000 meters is equals to 1 kilometer. So if I want to find for 1,000 meters, that would be 100 multiplied by 1,000 would give you 1 kilometer, which is 1 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? Excuse me. So this would be 4 centimeters to 8 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 centimeters. And I want, so I'm going to divide both sides by 4, right? Because I want 1. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 800,000 divided by 4 is 200,000. So the answer is D. That is how you will get to T8. And that is the end of, this took longer. That is the end of January 2020. So now let's go ahead and do May, June 2024. Paper 1 measurement numbers 31 to 38. Given that 1 millimeter is 1 over 1,000 meters, then so then 2,500 millimeters in meters is, so we would say it would be multiply this by this, so it would be 1 over 1,000 multiplied by 2,500, 1 over 1,000 multiplied by 2,500, cross out, so you'll get 2.5. So 2.5 meters will give you 2,500 millimeters. The length of an edge of a cube is 27, right? Do you want to know the edge? So we know side cube is equal to 27. So side is going to be the cube root of 27. What by what is 27? 3. 3 threes are 9, 9 threes are 27. So the answer is E. Number 33. The perimeter of a square is 48. What is the area? Perimeter is 4 times side is equals to 48. So we know side is 12. So the area will be 12 times 12, which is 144. 12 multiplied by 12, which is 144. 34, the height of, right, so they want to know the height. They told you that the area is this. So that's a half times 8 plus 18 times your height is going to give you 65. So that's a half by 8 plus 18 is 8 and 8 is 16. 1, 2, that's 26. A half of 26 is 13. H is equals to 65. So H would be 65 divided by 13, which I believe is 5, because 5 by 13 is, so the height is 5 centimeters. Yeah. Number 35 refers to the following diagram, which shows a sector of a circle AOB. Angle AOB is 60 and the radius OB is R units. The length of AB is, now that is the length of your arc, right? Length of your arc is arc is theta over 360 by, we're talking about length, so it would be 2 pi r. So it's 60 over 360 multiplied by, is this? Right, so when we look at length of an arc, let's look at the formula because I want to make sure I'm doing it correct. The correct thing. If you look at for length of an arc, it's theta over 360 by pi r squared. Right? So that's multiplied by 2 over 1 multiplied by 22 over 7 multiplied by r. Right? We would say this is 1/6. Actually, they use it as pi. Excuse me. This would be 1 over 6 multiplied by 2 over 1 multiplied by pi multiplied by r, but 2 into 2, 1, 2 into 6, 3. So this is why the answer would be 1/3 pi r. And that is how you would have done this question. Alright, number 36, item 36 refers to the following diagram, which shows a compound shape made up of a rectangle and two identical semicircles. So if you were to find the circumference of the two circles, you would find the length of the two semicircles added together. The area of the compound shape is, so we know that your radius for your circle, no, not the radius, what am I saying? The diameter. The diameter of your circle, your diameter would be the length from here to here and here to here, right? Which is a difference between 27 minus 15, which is 7 minus 2 is 5, 2 minus 1 is 12. So your diameter is 12, right? So if the diameter is 12, then this is also 12, right? This length here is 12, and then from here to here would be 6, okay? Excuse me. So we know that they want the area. The area would be 15 times 12 as the area of A, and then we'll call this B, right? The area of B, which is the area of a circle, which is a combination of the two circles, would be pi by your diameter. I'm just going to put your diameter, pi by your diameter, which is 12. Right? So now if I will have to add this all up, this would be 15 times 12 plus pi times 12, right? And if I know anything 12 they have in common, so this is going to be 12 open bracket 15 plus pi. Right? We're looking for something that looks like that. I did this in, I don't know, I was thinking about parameter. 1 second. So we found out that your diameter of your circle was the difference between 27 minus 15, which is equals to 9. Right? That's what we found out. We said that, not 9, 12. So your diameter is 12. We said that also that the length of the width of the rectangle is 12. So we call in the rectangle A, which was 12 times 15. Then the rectangle of the area of B, which is your two circles, is pi r squared. Right? Not 2 pi r, it's pi r squared, which is pi multiplied by 12 squared. No, not 12 squared, 6 squared, because it's radius squared. So it's 6 squared. So this would be 12 multiplied by 15 plus 36 pi. Yeah? So now, 36. Right, so sorry. Yes, so when you multiply the rectangle, the area of A, you're going to get 180 because it's 12 times 10, and then 12 times 5 is 60. So it's 180, and the area of B is pi r squared, which is 12 by 6 squared, which is 36 pi. Right? This is the area of this compound shape. Now, if you recognize, they factorize this out. So you're going to ask yourself, what could go into 180 and 36 at the same time? So if we know we have 36 open bracket 5, because 5 by 36 is 180 plus pi, so the answer for this is B. Oh, why that took so long. Right, now the line, let's look at 37. The area of the rectangle is 140. If the length is multiplied by 4, the width is half. The area would be, hold on, let me take my time. Area of a rectangle, so length times width, length times breadth. They told me that if my length times breadth is equals to 40. If the length is multiplied by 4, so 4 length times a half the width would be, that would be a half by, that's 2 by length times breadth, right? So that's 2 by 40, because we know length times breadth is 40, is 80, so the answer is C. Number 38, it refers to the following diagram, which shows a compound shape that comprises of a triangle resting on a square of side 5. So this is 5 here. If the area of if the total area of the compound shape is 35, then the height of the triangle is. So we have, when you want to find the area of a compound shape, this is 1 and this is 2. So area of 1 would be 5 times 5, which is equals to 25. And area of shape 2, the 1 plus 2 is 35, so area of 2 would be 35 minus 25, which is equals to 10. Right? So now we will know that area of 2, which is a triangle, is base by height over 2 is equals to 10. What is my base? My base is 5. 5 times my height over 2 is equals to 10. So we know 5 times h is equals to 20. So h would be 20 divided by 5. So h is equals to 4. So my height would be 4 centimeters. And that is how you would do this question. Right, and that is the end of January, no, May, June 2024. We're going to do January 2020. Paper 1, measurement numbers is 30, 31 to 38. Right, so measurement is section 4, I believe. If this question is a repeated question, if a speedboat is 9 hours and it travels, actually it's not a repeated question, it's a variation of a question that we got, right? The answer would be 120, but we know that the speed is distance, which is 1, your speed, the axis for the speed, is equals to 1080 divided by 9, which is 120. So the answer is C for this question. Right, 32, the perimeter of a trapezium. We did this question, they want it in centimeters now. So when we added this all up, we got 0.92. When we added this up, that's what we got, 0.92. We want to convert, now this is in meters, we want to convert it to centimeters. We know that 100 centimeters is equals to 1 meter. So 1 meter would be 1 over 100 centimeters, okay? So if 1 meter is that, then 0.92 would be 1 over 100 multiplied by 0. Sorry, no. If 1 meter is 100 centimeters, then 0.92 meters would be 100 multiplied by 0.92, which is 92 centimeters. So the answer is C. Right? Item 33 refers to the following circle with a center O. If the circumference of the circle is 15, then the length of the minor arc would be 120. So the fraction of this would be 120 over 360, which is 1 over 3 multiplied by 15 over 1. So it I'm jumping. It's 1 over, it would be 120 over 360 multiplied by the length, the circumference of your circle, which is B. An aircraft leaves leaves A at 1600 hours and arrives at B at 1930 hours, traveling at an average speed of 550 kilometers per hour. A and B are in the same time zone. The distance of A to B is. Now, we want to know what time taken. The time taken would be 1930 minus 1600, which would be 30 and 330, or 3 hours and 30 minutes, right? They know, they told you for one, so they said the average speed, so your speed is your distance over time. So they told you that my speed is 550, my distance we don't know, and my time, I want to put it in hours. I don't like to put 3 point, this 330 hours is 3.5 hours, right? So my distance is going to be 550 multiplied by 3.5. 550 multiplied by 3.5 is this one, 1925. When you multiply it out, that is the answer that you're going to get for this question. Right, number 35. Item 35 refers to the following diagram which shows a circle with center O. The major and the minor sectors are indicated. If the area of the major sector is 515, then the area of the circle in centimeters is. So they're telling you that the major sector, so if this is 60, your major sector is 300. Right, so they're saying 300 degrees is 515, and they want to know the entire circle. So if 300 is 515, 1 degree would be 515 over 300. Therefore, 360, which is the entire, which is 515 over 300, multiplied by 360 over 1, 515 is equal to 618. So D is your answer for this question. Item 36 refers to the following diagram which shows a cuboid. The volume of a cuboid is 320 centimeters cubed. The height is h. The length of the square. So the base here is square, okay? So that means that this is also 8 centimeters. You need to pay attention. If what they say, if the length of the square base of the cuboid is 8, what is the value of each? So they're telling you 8 multiplied by 8 multiplied by h is 320. So 64 multiplied by h is 320. So h would be 320 divided by 64, which is equals to 5. Right? Or you could just use the answers here and multiply it and see which one will give you 320. So the answer is 5, which is E. The area of a triangle is 60. The height is 10. What is the length of the base? So we know that area of your triangle is base by height over 2, which is your base is, we don't know what the base by 10 over 2 is equals to 60. So base by 10 is 60 multiplied by 2. Base by 10 is equal, 6 2s are 12, 120. So my base is equals to 12. So B would be my answer. A square has the same perimeter as a rectangle whose sides are, so a square and a rectangle have the same perimeter. So first let's find the perimeter of a rectangle. So the perimeter of a rectangle would be 2 by 9 plus 15. Right? 9 plus 15 is equals to 24. 2 by 24 is equals to 48. Right? So now we know, and we also know that that is the perimeter of a square, which is 4 times side, which is equals to 48. So my side is equals to 12. What is the length of the side? Is 12. Right? So that's how you would have done this question. And that is the end of January 2024. Let's look at May, June 2024. Right? Let's start. Paper 1, section. What section is this? Section 4, right? Section 4, numbers 31 to 38. This is a question we just now did. If 1 millimeter is 1 over 1,000, then 2,500 would be 2.5. Right? The volume of a cube whose edge is 10, the volume would be 10 to the power of 3, which is 10 by 10 by 10, which is 100 by 10 is 1,000. D. Right? At a party, the number of guests will serve 15. This question here, guys, comes a lot, so pay attention to this one, okay? At a party, in the number of guests will serve 15 liters of champagne. Each guest has 2 glasses of champagne, and each glass has 150 milliliters. Assuming no spillage, how many guests were in a party? So, we know that, right, so we know that one glass is 2 glasses, right? No, sorry, one guess is 2 glasses, and we know one glass holds one glass is equals to 150 milliliters. So 2 glass would be 300 milliliters because it's 2 by 150, right? And how much liters it have? They serve 15 liters. So we know that 1 liter is equals to 1,000 milliliters. So 15 liters would be 1,000 times 15, which is 15,000 milliliters. Right? So number of guests would be the total number of champagne, which is 15,000 milliliters, divided by how much for one person, which is 300. Right? Cross that out, cross that out. Did I add extra zero? I totally did. That zero not supposed to be there. Cross that out. 3 into 3, 1. 3 into 15, 5, and 0. So how many guests? 50 guests. So the answer is C. Right, item 34 refers to the following diagram of a trapezium if the area of a trapezium is 65. This is a repeated question, by the way. I believe the answer was 5, but let's check it out. That's 8 plus 18 by half times, I see my height is 5, we're supposed to get 65. 8 and 18 is 26. A half of 26 is 13 times 5. 13 multiplied by 5 is in fact 65, so we know that the answer is D. Right, the perimeter of a square is 56. What is the area? So we know perimeter of a square is 4 times your side, or side times side times side times side plus side plus side plus side. Or we could say 4 times side is 56. So side would be 56 divided by 4, which is 14. 4 into 5 is 1, remainder 1. 4 into 16 is 4. So we know 14. What is the area? So area would be 14 times 14, which is 196. D. The distance around the edge of a circular pond is 88. The radius in meters is... So we know that circumference is equals to 2 pi r. 88 is equal to 2 pi r. So if I want to find r, it's going to be 88 divided by 2 pi. So that is C. Item 37 shows we did this question. Wait, did we? No. Item 37 refers to the following diagram, which shows a compound shape consists of a triangle of height 4 resting on a square. If the area of the triangle is 14, so 4 times my base over 2 is equals to 14. So that's 4 multiplied by base is equals to 14 times 2, which is 28. My base is going to be 7. 28 divided by 4 is in fact 7. So this is 7, this is 7, this is 7, this is 7. The area of a compound shape, this is 14, and 7 by 7 is 49. 49 plus 14, it has to end in 3, so it's 63. On Trinidad, the time of a pilot watch was 23 hours. When he arrived at his destination, the same time zone, the next day, it showed 300 hours. If the average speed of the aircraft is 625 kilometers per hour, what then the distance traveled? So we want to know how many hours is from 23 hours to 3 hours. So that would be 23, 24, and then you add 3 to it. So it would be 2,300 hours. Hold on. 2,300 to 2,400 to 100 to 200 to 300. This is 1 hour. This is our next hour. This is our next hour. And this is our next hour. So we can see that the journey took 4 hours, right? So we want to know the speed. If the average speed of the aircraft was, so we know speed is distance over time. Your speed is 625 is equals to my distance divided by 4. My distance would be 625 multiplied by 4, which is 2,500. So the answer for this is E. Right, and that is the end of May, June 2023. Now we're going to do January 2023. Paper 1, section 4, which is measurement numbers 31 to 39. The volume of the cylinder. We did this question already, but let's do it. That is pi r squared. Sorry, excuse me. Pi r squared by your height is equal to your volume. Your pi multiplied by radius, which is 3 squared multiplied by 20. So that's pi multiplied by 3 threes and 9 multiplied by 20. 9 twos are 18, so it's 180 pi. They're supposed to have pi at the end. The answer is C. Item 32 refers to the following diagram, which shows a circle at the center O with a sector and a major and a minor arc indicated. If the minor arc, so this is 103, then the area of the circle, so they say 60 degrees is 103, then 1 degree would be 103 divided by 60, therefore 360 would be 103 divided by 60 multiplied by 360 over 1. This is 6. So 6 3s are 18, so the answer is D. This was a repeated question. Well, variation. This is a repeated question. If it took a speedboat 9 hours to travel a distance of 180, what is the speed? This is 120. This is our next repeated question. X plus 2x plus 2x is equals to 20. So 5x is equals to 20. So x was equals to 4. Right? 50. Now, if you guys remember this question, 50 guests had 2 glasses of champagne each. Each glass had 150 milliliters. How many liters of champagne it had? If you remember from the previous question, it was 15 liters. But let's just do this question, right? We know that one guess would be 300 milliliters. So 50 guess would be 300 multiplied by 50, which is 15123. And this is milliliters. To change this to liters, we divide by 1,000. So therefore it is 15. So 15 guess. No, 15, sorry, 15 liters. A square has a perimeter as a rectangle. We did this question already, and I believe it was 169, but let's do it. So we said 15 plus 11 times 2 would be, that's 26 times 2, 5, 6, that's 26. That is 6 twos are 12, 2 twos are 4, 2 twos are 4, 5, 52. So we know this is the area, this is the perimeter of the rectangle. So if it is the perimeter of the square, we know that is 4, side is 52. So side would be 52 divided by 4, which is equals to 13. So the area of that square would be 13 by 13, which is 169. Right, and that's the end of that question. Number 37, the circumference of a circle is 154. Given that pi is 22 over 7, the radius of the circle is, so that's 22 over 7 times, that's the circumference we're talking about, pi times 2 over 1 times r is equals to 154. So that's 44 over 7 multiplied by r is 154. So r is equals to 154 divided by 44 over 7, which, am I doing this correctly? 4 twos are, 2 twos are 4, right? Um, or you could just use these answers and put it in and see which one would give you your answer. So 22 over 7 times 2, right? Multiplied by 24.5. So the answer here is B. When you do the question, you'll get B as your answer. Right? When you put in 24.5 in this, you're gonna get 154. So that's how you would have gotten this. Right? This is a repeated question. It was 2 centimeters to 8 kilometers, and I told you that we can't have centimeters and kilometers. We can't compare the two. So it's 2 centimeters to 800,000 centimeters. You divide both sides by 2, so you're gonna get 1 to 40,000. 2, 3, 4, 5. So D is the answer. Alright, and that's the end of May, January 2023. Let's look at May, June 2020. Paper 1, section 4, which is measurements 31 to 38. This is a repeated question. They ask you how much millimeters. We know it's 2.5. The volume, we want to know the volume with a side of 3. That's 3 by 3 by 3, which is 27, which is C. This one here, if the perimeter of a square is 48, what is the area? That means the side is 12. That means your area is 12 by 12 is 144. This one here, the area of a trapezium is 8 plus. This is a variation of the question. When we were solving it, we sort of found the height to be 5. If you remember, your area is 65, but you can do it 6. That is 8 plus 18 is that's a half of 26 times 5, which is 13 times 5, which is 65. And that is how you would get this answer. Right, this one here, we did this question already. It was 60 over 360 multiplied by 2 pi r, so over 1 squared. Pi r squared? No, it's not. It's 2 pi r, not squared. Right? We say this is 1 over 6. 2 into 2, 1. 2 into 6, 3. So that's 1 over 3 pi r. So that is D is the answer. This question here, we also did it. Item 36 refers to the following diagram, which shows a compound shape made up of a rectangle, 2 identical semicircles. If I am not mistaken, oh, okay, I'm not seeing the option, but this was 180. Was it 180? The difference between 15 and 27 was the diameter is 27 minus 15, which is equals to 12. Right? So this side was 12. And then we said 12 multiplied by 15 is 120. And 12 times 5 is 60. So it is 180. Right? So A. And then the area of your circle was pi r squared. So r was 6. So that is 6 squared r. No, pi, sorry, which is 36 pi, right? So you have 180 plus 36 pi, right? Which would have been 36 by 5. I feel it's supposed to be 36 here. 36 by 5 plus pi. So the answer should be E, right? I probably messed up the outside there, but this is the answer. It would have been 36 by 5 plus pi. Right, area of a rectangle is 53.6. If the length is multiplied by 4, the width is half, the area would be. So we know length times breadth is 53.6. They say the length, so 4 length times a half breadth. A half by 4 is 2 by length times breadth, would be 2 by 53.6. 2 multiplied by 53.6 is 107.2, so the answer is C. Item 38 refers to the following diagram, which consists of a triangle. If the height is 4, what is the total area? So this is 25. 5 by 5 is 25. Then 4 times 5 over 2. 4 5s are 20. 20 over 2 is equals to 10. So that's 10 plus 25 is 35. So the answer is A. And that is the end of January 20, no, not January, May, June 2022. We're going to go into January 2022. Paper Paper 1, section 4, number 31 to 38. We did this question already, so I'm not paying attention to questions that we already done. The speed was 120. It was 1080 divided by 9, which is 120. This one they wanted in millimeters, right? We would have gotten 0.92 meters when you added them up. And they wanted in millimeters. We know that we had to multiply by 1,000, right? Which is D is your answer. Right? This is our next question. They want to know the circumference of the circle is 15, then the length of the minor arc would be 120 over 360 divided by 15, which is B. An aircraft leaves 1600 hours. Oh, we did this question already. I think it was 1925. But let's do it. An aircraft leaves at 1600 hours and arrives at 1930 hours. That means it took 3 hours, 330 hours, which is 3.5 hours. Okay? The speed is 550, so they want to know the distance. We know that speed is distance over time. So we know speed is, right, speed is distance over time. So what is my speed? My speed is 550 is equals to my distance. We don't know what the distance is, over 3.5. So my distance would be 550 multiplied by 3.5. You don't even need to multiply this. This is supposed to be 5 threes are 15 actually. So it cannot be this and it cannot be this. So the only possible answers would be this and this. But we have 5 by 5 is 25, so it must have 25, so it cannot be this. So through process of elimination and thinking how you would multiply, you know that the answer would be 1925. Okay, the length of the major arc FE, so F I'm going right around, is 440 centimeters. The circumference of the circle in centimeters. So we're looking for something more than 40. So we know that this is 60, this is 300. So 300 is equals to 40. Then 1 would be 40 over 300. And 360, which is how much we're trying to find out, is 40 over 300 multiplied by 360 over 1. Cross out this, cross out this, cross out this. 3 into 3, 1. 3 into 38 is 12. 4 by 12 is 48, so the answer is B. Item 36 refers to the following diagram, which shows a cuboid. The volume of a cuboid is 3. We did this question already. I believe it's 8 is the question. It was a variation of this question. They told you to solve the height, and the height was 5. And you had a square base. If the cuboid has a square base, what is the length of one side of the base? So we say 5 multiplied by length is equals to 320. So length squared is equals to 320 divided by 5, which is equals to 5 into 36. You'll get 64, I believe. Yeah, 64. Alright, so length squared is, so your length would be a square root of 64, which is 8, so A is your answer. 37, the area of a triangle is 60 and its base is 12. What is the perpendicular height? We know that area of a triangle is base by height over 2. So your base is 12 by your height over 2 is equals to 60. So 12 by height is 6 2s are 12 is 120. So I could see that my height immediately is 10. The square has the same area as a rectangle with length of 9 and 6. I think we did this question already. And but let's do it. Alright, so we say the length, the square has an area, has the same area as the rectangle with a side 9 and 16. So area of your rectangle is 16 times 9. 16 multiplied by 9 is 144. Right, the length of your side of your square is going to be 12. Right, because side squared is 144, so side would be the square root of 144, which is equals to 12. Right, and that would be the end of January 2022. Now we're going to go into May, June 2020. Paper 1, section 4, which is measurement number 31 to 38. Let's go. This is a repeated question. This is 2.5. How many kilograms and then there is in 1 ton? How many kilograms in 1 ton? It's 1,000. Right? Oh, shucks. C. What is the area of a trapezium? We did this question just now. 8 and 16 is 26. A half of 26 is 13. 13 by 5 is 65. So the answer is B. This question, how many guests were at the party? This is a repeated question. We know that 2 guests would have 300 mils. So number of persons will be 15,000 divided. The answer was 50. So 1 guest is equals to 300 mils because each person is having 2 glasses of wine, right? Um, because it's liters and milliliters, we know 1 liter is equals to 1,000 milliliters. So 15 liters is going to be 15. So number of guests would be a total number of wine, 15,000 divided by 300. You get 50. Right, the perimeter of a square is 56. 56. What is the area? So 4 side is 56, so side is 56 divided by 4, which is 14. So the area would be 14 times 14, which is 196. The circumference of a circle is 154, given that pi is 22/7. The diameter by pi is equal to your circumference. So that's 22/7 times the diameter is 154. So your diameter is going to be 154. And you could just take the answers here and put it in. 154 divided by 22/7, which is 154 multiplied by 7/22. Right? And we did a question. Oh, did we? Um, the answer is this here, 49. Right? This one, the total area of the diagram is 63. What is the height of the the triangle? So this is 49. Right? Base by height over 2 is equals to 63 minus 49 is equals to 14. So 7 times some value here, my height, over 2 is equals to 14. So 7 multiplied by h is equals to 2 by 14 is 28. So h is equals to 4. So the answer is B. Right, on on leaving Trinidad, and in the time on a pilot watch is 23 hours, 100 hours. When he arrived at the destination, the same time zone, on the next day, his watch shows 300 hours. How many hours did the flight take? That's 4 hours. Right? So if we know it's 2300, 2400, 100, 200, and then 300. This is one, this is the next one, this is the next one, and this is the next one. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's how I got 4 hours. That is the end of May, June 2021. Now we're going to be doing January 2020. Paper 1, section 4, which is measurement number 31 to 38. This is a repeated question. The speed is 120. Right, in the diagram, the length of the from F to E is 40. What is the circumference? The major arc. So we know that 300, this is a repeated question by the way, is 40. 1 would be 40 over 300. I believe it's 40. It was 40. That's the answer. 360 would be 40 over 300 multiplied by 360 over 1 cross of these zeros. 3 into 3, 1. 3 into 36 is 12. 12 by 4 is 48. So the answer is B. um, if the volume of a cylinder in terms of pi is 180 pi centimeters cubed, then the height of the cylinder is we did this question, but it was reversed. They gave you a height to be 20, and we found out to be 180 pi. But if you want, you can just use your answers. 6, that's pi r squared. So it is 3 squared multiply, we're talking about, yeah, pi r squared by pi by a height of 20, right? That's 9 times pi by 20 is 180 pi. So you could just use your answers to get this. This is a repeated question. We haven't seen it in a while, and I believe the answer is 5x is equals to 20, so x was equals to 4. This one here, 50 guests has 2 glasses of champagne each. Each glass has 150 milliliters. How many liters of champagne were used? This is a this is a type of question that they like to change it up, but if you remember the basis of it, we know it's 15 liters. And we did this. This is a repeated question. A square has the same area as the length of a side with 9 and centimeter 16. What is the length of the what is the length of the side of the square? We did this and I believe it was 12, but let's check and see. That's 9 times 16 is 144. So the side squared is 144. So side is equal to the square root of 144, which is in fact 12, right? The circumference of a circle is 154. Given that pi is 22 over 7, the diameter is... So this was a repeated question, and I believe we got the answer to be, was it 49? 22 over 7 multiplied. Yeah, 49. We did this question already. The area of a triangle is 60 centimeters squared and its base is 12. What is the perpendicular height? That's base by height over 2 is equals to 60. So that's 12 by height over 2 is equals to 60. That's 6 twos are 12, so my height is 10. That is the end of January 2021. Let's go look at January 2020. Paper 1, section 4, which is measurement number 31 to 38. If a side or edge is 5 centimeters, what is the volume? That's 5 by 5 by 5. Does not have, I think something is wrong with this question. So this is supposed to be 6 centimeters long, by the way, not 5. So 6 by 6 by 6 is 216. If it took a speed of 9 hours to travel, this is a repeated question is 120, right? Now, even if you don't remember, you know it was 1 over 1,000 liters, sorry. Right, you divide by 1,000 and you'll get 2.5. An aircraft leaves at 1600 hours. We did this question, but you could do it if you want. An aircraft leaves A at 1600 hours and arrives at B at 1930 hours, traveling at an average speed of 550 kilometers per hour. A and B are in the same time zone. The distance from A to B is we know that your distance is going to be 550 multiplied by 3.5, which is how much hours it took, and you'll get 1925, right? In a rectangular garden plot, right? 15 by 1, 15 by, this is a repeated question. It took a while, but 15 by 12 was 180. So not used was 180 minus 80, which is 100. So it was B. The distance, this is our next repeated question, but it's 2 centimeters to 8 kilometers, which is 2 centimeters to 8 by 100,000. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is 2 to 800,000, which is 1 to divide this by 2, so you'll get 1 to 400,000, which is D. Right, item 37 refers to the diagram not drawn to scale, which shows a it's a repeated question. The answer was A. A square has the same area of a rectangle. We did this question just a minute ago, a while ago. 9 by 16 was 144. The square root of 144 is 12, so the answer is B. And that is the end of January 2020. Let's look at May, June 2019. Paper 1, section 4, numbers 31 to 38. Repeated question 2.5. This was a repeated question. It was a third pi r. Right. This one is a repeated question. 3 by 3 by 3 is 27. This one here was what is the area? We know the side would be 4, side is 48, so side is equals to 48 divided. This is a repeated question, by the way, by 4, which is equals to 12, so your side would have been 12 by 12 is 144. Whichever floor not drawn to scale has an area equal to a half 4. So that means this is telling you that my sides is 5 and 4, and my height is 2, which is only D. The area of a rectangle, 53.6, if the length is multiplied. We did this just now. So we know length by breadth is 53.6. Then they tell you your length is 4 length times a half breadth is 53 is equal to 4 by half is 2, 2 by length by breadth, which is 2 by 53.6. 3 and 3, 6, yeah, it'll be 107.2. Right? If the length of the minor arc is PQ is 8, what is the length of the circumference? So we know 60 degrees is 8 centimeters, so 1 degree would be 8 over 60. So 360 degrees would be 8 over 60 multiplied by 360 over 1. 6 8s are 48. So the answer is C. Right, the area of a triangle is 30 and its base is 10, so that is 10 multiplied by its height over 2 is equals to 30. That's 10 by h is equals to 60. 10 by 6 is 60, so the answer is A. And that is the end of May, June 2018. Let's look at January 20. Sorry, May, June 2019. Let's look at January 20. Paper 1, section 4, 31 to 38. We know section 4 is measurement. They love this question, boy. The speed is 120. Area of a trapezium, that would be 12 plus 8, a half 12 plus 8 by a height of 3. A half of 20 is 10, 10 by 3 is 30, so it's C. This one here is a repeated question. It would be 120. The area of your minor arc would be 120 over 360 by 15. This is a repeated question. The value of x is 4. You could say 2 and 2 is 4. 4 plus 1 is 5. 5x is 20. So x would be 20 divided by 5, which is 4. The rectangular. This is a repeated question. We know that the total plot was 180. The plot that was used was 80. So not used was 80 minus 180 minus 80, which is 100. This one here was a 2 centimeters to 8 kilometers, which is 2 centimeters to 800,000 centimeters. Divide this both side by 2. 800,000 divided by 2 is 400,000, so the answer is D. The diagram above, not shown to scale, shows a cylinder with a radius of 3 and a height of 8. What is the volume of the cylinder? We know volume is pi r squared by height, which is pi by 3 squared by height, which is 8, which is pi by 9 times 8. 9 8s are 72, so it's C. The volume of, this is a repeated question as well. They want to know the length of the square base, one length, which is 8. Right, and that was the end of January 2018. Let's look at May, June 20. Sorry, That was the end of January 2019. Let's look at May, June 2018. Let's look at the next one. Which of the following statement is true about the perimeter of the square in a rectangle? 12 by 12 is 144, and 9. First of all, we're talking about perimeter. This is 48, because 12 by 4 is 48, and this was 56. Okay, Russian, let's take our time. Right, so we know that the perimeter of the square is 12 by 4, which is 48. The perimeter of this is 2 by length plus breadth. Right, so 16 plus 9 is 16 plus 9 is 25. 25 by 2 is 50. So this here is 50. So what did they ask you? Are they equal? No. Is the are they is not this. Right? So it's either A is more than B? No. Is A less than B? Yes. The area of this 48 is less than the area of B. So the answer would be D. Right? 33. Expressed in meters, you know this is divided by 1,000. So it's 3.8. The distance along the edge of a circular pond is 88 meters, the radius is. So this is a little bit different. So we know that it is, we're looking at the length, so that is 2 pi r is equals to 88. So pi r is equals, sorry, no, we want to make radius the subject. Radius is equals to 88 over 2 pi. So the answer would be D. So 33 is D. Right, 34, the length of one side of the square is 5, the height is 4, what is the total? So this is 25 here, and then this is 4 by 5, 4 fives are 20, 20 divided by 2 is 10. So this is 35, so the answer is E. Right, 35, the volume in centimeters cube of a edge is, this is 27. 3 by 3 by 3 is 27. The area of a rectangle is 53.6. If the length is multiplied, we did this question already, the answer was C. So we know length by breadth is 53.6. We have 4 by length by a half of width by a length times breadth. That is 2 by length times breadth is equal to 2 by 53.6. Excuse me, is 107.2. Right? Right, this is 4 hours. We did this question already. The pilot left at 2300 hours and arrived in the same time zone the next day at 300 hours. We say it was 23 hours to 24 hours, and 24 to 25, 24 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, and that would be 4 hours. Right, this one here is a repeated question. We haven't seen it in a while, but the area was 65 centimeters cubed, right? 8 and 18 is 26, a half of 26 is 13, 13 multiplied by 5 is 65. And that would be the end of May, June 2018. Let's look at January 2018. Paper 1, section 4, number 32 to 39. They want the area of your minor arc. That's this here. That's 60 over 360, and they know it's 20. So 60 over 360 multiplied by 20, which is the area of your circle. Right? This in meters, that was, it'll be this multiplied by 1 over 1,000, which is 2.5. This one here, we did this question, it's a repeated question. The answer is A. It would be 3 squared multiplied by 2. No, no, 3 squared multiplied by pi multiplied by 20, which is 9 multiplied by pi multiplied by 1 multiplied by 20, which is 180 pi. Right? 35, the distance around a circular edge of one is 88, the radius is, it was, oh, okay, no, this one is a little bit different. The options is different. We know 2 pi r is equals to 88. So pi r would be 88 divided by 2. So pi r is equals to 44. So r is equals to 44 divided by pi. So the answer would be D. Right, this question we did already. An aircraft is 1600 hours and arrives at 1930 hours, which is 3 hours and 3.5 hours, and its average speed is 550, so the distance would be 550 multiplied by 3.5, which is equals to 1,925 kilometers. Right, and that's the answer. Number 37, we did this question. You just have to make sure that the volume is 320 and the height is 5. Your base would be 8. Right? The square has an area. We did this question already. The area, 69 by 16 is 144, so the side would be the square root of 144, which is 12. This one here, it's 2 to 8 kilometers, so that's 2 to 800,000. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we divide the both sides by 2, so it's 1 by, so it's D. 1 to 400,000. And that would be the end of January 2018. Let's look at May, June 2017. Paper 1, section 4, number 32 to 40. How many kilograms in a ton? We did this question, it's C. Volume in centimeters cube as a cube. That's if the edge is 3, that's 3 by 3 by 3, which is 27. Right? A car travels 80 kilometers in 2.5 hours. What is the speed? Speed is distance, which is 80 over 2.5. Right? Carry this across. So that's 800 divided by 25. That's supposed to be 800 32. The answer would be 32. Item 35 refers to the figure which shows a triangle, right? They want to know the total. This is 25 and this is 4 by 5 over 2. 5 fours are 20 over 2. This is 10. So 10 and 25 is 35. That was a repeated question, right? Area for a rectangle is 53.6 if the length is multiplied by 4 and the width is half. It was 107.2. That's a repeated question. A man leaves home at 2215 hours and reaches his destination at 400 hours on the following day in the same time zone. And the following day and the same time zone. How many hours did it take? So let's go 2215 to 23, then 2315, then 2315 to 2415. I don't have nothing like 2415. Let's leave that 15 for now, right? 2215 to 23. Let's just say that is 45 minutes, okay? Or 3/4 of an hour. As soon as you see it's 3/4 of an hour, your answer directly should go to B. Um, yeah, it should be like that. But let's just check 23 to 24, 24 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours and well, the only one that has 5 hours is not 6 hours. We're going from 15 to 60. That is a 3/4 of an hour. Alright? So that is how you would have gotten number 37. Number 38, we did this question, is 1 to 400,000. The perimeter of a square is 56. What is the area? That is 4 side is equals to 56. So side would be 56 divided by 4. 56 divided by 4 is 14. 14 by 14 is 196. Right? 40. We did this question already, but I'm gonna do it over again. It's 3 squared by 8 by pi is pi r squared, right? So pi r squared by your height. So that is 3 3s are 9. 9 by 8 is 72 by pi. So it's 72 pi c. And that would be the end of May, June 2017. Let's look at January 2017. Alright, January paper 1, section 4, which is measurement number 32 to 39. 2 tons and 54. We know that one ton, right, is 1,000. So 2 tons would be 2,000. 2,000 plus 54 is 2,054 kilograms. Item 33, this is a repeated question. It's 120 over 360 by the circumference, which is 15. They ask for the minor arc, right? If they ask for the major arc, that's something different. So you need to make sure those are the things that you're looking at. This one is a repeated question. The answer is A, 180 pi. In the diagram, the length of the minor arc is 8. What is the circumference? So that would be, this is a repeated question. We know that 60 degrees is 8, then 1 degree would be 60. 8 over 60. Therefore, 360 would be 8 over 60 multiplied by 360 over 1. 6 8s are 48, right? And that's how you would have gotten that. This is the how many liters of champagne was used, right? If you remember, it's 15 liters of champagne. The area of a triangle is 60 and its base is 12. So 12 times your height is over 2 is equals to 60. So 12 by h is equals to 6 2s are 12. So your height is 10, right? Number 38, the area of a square is 52. The perimeter of a square is 52. So 4 times side is 52. 52. So one side is 52 divided by 4. 52 divided by 4 is 13. And you want to know the area, 13 by 13. So you need to make sure, always check these, even if it looks similar, because the next one there's a similar question to this, and the answer is 196, right? So you do need to make sure that when I divide this, I'm getting 13. 13 by 13 is 169, right? The circumference of a circle is 113 centimeters. The radius is, so we know that it's, we're talking about the radius, so it's 2 multiplied by radius multiplied by 22 over 7 is equals to 132. So that's 44 over 7 multiplied by radius is 132. So my radius would be 132 divided by 44 over 7. 132 divided by 44 over 7 is 21. So the answer is 21B. Right, and that would be the end of January 2017 and the end of this video for measurement section 4 for your multiple choice paper 1 CSEC maths.